Hey, what's up guys, it's Oakley, and we'll be playing some Shogun 2 Total War. It's been a while since I played this title. Very much one of my favorite Total Wars, especially when it comes to multiplayer. Just the Avatar Conquest system works brilliantly. I really love the rock, paper, scissors of the title. And the units are just super responsive, especially cavalry. I feel like they handle the best. The impacts are very rewarding, and they just maneuver so well. You can dip, dodge, get in and out of fights. You can get in and out of arrow range, especially with my bow cab that you'll see me wielding in some battles. You can do some really fancy stuff with this, although there is some interesting things that you can do once you get kind of higher leveled with your avatar units and your veterans, with like just these big breaker forces that just trigger all kinds of stuff. You're not going to be seeing me fielding too many of those armies. I know some players like to do that. Indie Heat Pride, when I play with him, he likes to like field his kitted out army. I myself don't have that many veterans. I just have a couple. For instance, here you're going to see them, the lone heroes. These are like lone sword ashigaros that are just teched up. Give them a little bit more meat. But yeah, the remainder of my force here is going to be, I brought Delendas Cartago, which is a katana hero force to smite the enemy. I have the sneaky Naginata warrior monks, and I like the fact that you can name these guys. So yeah, basically infantry corps with a bunch of Nodachi samurais, just because they can pop bonsai, because we're going to be facing off against the dark shadow samurai here on the ridge. That does look really cool. God, the visuals in Shogun are amazing. I can't wait to get to kind of this similar type visuals when it comes to the China game. Three Kingdoms is going to be really fantastic. But yeah, so I'm just deploying. What you're going to be seeing here is a big 3 versus 3 battle I just played online. And yeah, it's not going to be super competitive, just because I've been having a little bit of a hard time getting some good competitive 1v1 matches. So you'll be seeing me here kind of jumping into the various Total Wars and just getting into big romps. And that's what today is going to be. So we'll be seeing our troops massing forward. I showed you a little bit of my units, so kind of sprinkled around. I also have some pink units, whatever. It's just a for fun build. And yeah, so 3 traditional armies against a traditional force, and 2 modern armies on the flanks. So Blaze Dude here with the Emperor's Servants, Toaster Rifles, extreme range, moving up to button up the flank here. The traditional army holding the center, and then on this side they have more guys massing forward, pushing up. Just General Rob. One looks like he has brought some Armstrong guns, looking to try and perhaps silence our guys in the center. So pretty good. If they were to get set up, they could probably hammer us. But take a look at what one of my allies has brought. A huge just rush build meant to take out follow samurai forces. Yeah, this is pretty awesome. This will run over an Imperial force if it's not quite set up for this. And it looks like that's what he's planning on. Okay, the battle is going to start triumphantly with a massive samurai charge over on the left flank. Looks like the revolver cav, etc. Oh my god, just getting dehorsed. There were some of the bows, probably launched by the general himself. God, and this looks glorious. So yeah, let me know if you guys are down to hop into some games. I don't really have the time to schedule battles with people, but yeah, maybe if I can push a little bit of attention to the matchmaking for a week or so, and then just meet people on the battlefield there, that'd be cool. I'm gonna get some more games with subscribers. The blood splatter on the screen. But yeah, here comes the massive charge. The Imperial forces were not quite ready for this. You can see them. This is the opening scene from The Last Samurai, essentially. You have these rookie troops set up, trying to fire. But after their first wild volley, they just get rolled over. God, this looks fucking glorious. I'm in love with the visuals of this title. It's so great. Yeah, so samurai are going to be romping on through here. In the forest, no less. So all these shots coming in are going to do nothing. Looks like he has some fire arrows debuffing him, but I'm going to be sending some weight over here as, maybe some gunners are center on the flank. So, okay, some Red Bear are going to fire, but I am here to save the day. Looks like a couple of my guys are going to get nabbed on the side. But we have enough to shut this down. So doing a good combined arms here. And speaking of that, the enemy is going to try and reinforce. They have some of their own spears, but that's just going to draw numbers away from the central position. Where I've had some of my own units fending off against them. So 2 bow warrior monks. So in the hilly terrain here, this is actually really beneficial. Enemies may have some ashigaru, matchlocks, etc. But if I can position myself behind a hill and get proper range on these guys, well, I can just shoot them to pieces, and that's exactly what's happening, allowing me to keep them at a distance, rebuff the Red Bear, and keep them essentially at arm's length from our main engagement happening on the right flank where we're swarming the enemy. I did bring over some heavy gunners as well. Gonna be, mounted gunners. So this is just, as the title calls it, units with big muskets. So they'll run into battle, reload, and they can, you know, dish a lot of pain into anti-cavalry units. Over here, this reinforcing Yari, Samurai, etc. has kind of helped out, but the rest of the force has gone down rather easily, and now the Samurai are going to ride for their lives. Given orders to continue on to the back lines here. It looks like some of the Red Bears have rallied over on the hills. Not quite sure how to get back to the fight. If I were them, I would take off. But this is where you have... Oh my god, that's so cool. Katana hero, Gozen's, Hime heroes. I don't think I have these, but this is really cool. So this was a pretty high, fun battle. So it looks like my ally here didn't know what to spend his money on and just brought a bunch of super elite units. Oh my god, I've never seen these guys. Tetsubo warriors with giant, I don't even know what those are. They're not hammers, they're like bats essentially with spikes on them. Don't know what the historicity on that is, but that is pretty dope. So these are the guys who are going to be sent over to mug the remaining infantry here while the cavalry wheels about. Meanwhile, the other engagement here with the Imperial Force, he does have some units positioned around the flanks. Going to be trying to hold out Infanterie de Marine. More units moving forward. Looks like the enemy didn't quite coordinate so well, and so he spread ultra thin, which can perhaps hold us at bay for the time being, but once we muster our forces, this is a single man line. And yeah, we're slowly picking it apart. Bow fire as well coming in, so their days are numbered. Yeah, it looks like with this, the reinforcements coming in, Black Bear Infantry, they're going to be able to secure the ridge, so this cavalry attack has been stymied somewhat. They have been taking a fair beating, most of them on, you know, 3/4 strength left. And a couple of my cav here trading with the enemy. The general was brought in. I believe he does have a bow on him. Okay, no he doesn't, but he's going to see to get himself into combat. Pop rally, get these guys up and running, but my Dodachi are still alive. And then I have the mounted gunners going to be firing into these guys, trying to take them apart. But this could be a problem. Meanwhile, on the back, I wasn't even looking. Some ninjas snuck up on me totally. And looks like they got a couple of my general's units, threw some bombs, got a bit impetuous. And the second I noticed that, I was like, oh shit, time to commit my guys. So now you have my own fire cav, which are some very elite units that you can bring to the field. See, I call them the Horse Guard Fire Cavalry. So they're pretty awesome. They're going to shatter that ninja force as well as the Lone Sword Ashigaru units. The Lone Hero is going to be bloodied here, staining their white garments, trying to make something of these peasants. And yeah, killing ninjas off like that, pretty awesome. Let's get a look on his mask there. That's pretty cool. I wonder if these are the special Hanzo units. But yeah, sensing that, you know, it's time to make my move here. I'm going to start to close in on this force. Looks like they've been thrown a little bit into disarray, and my mounted gunner is continuing to snipe at the general. I believe we were able to take him out. I'm going to try and precipitate some action. So a single Nodachi force, tired from cleaning up two forces on the low ground, is going to commit here. I just tie down the enemy spear wall. All the remainder of my guys forge ahead. Looks like I have some allies over here, painted black. I do, every chance I get to add some color to my units, I'm always going to give them something fancy to show off. That's why you'll see me rocking some pink and purple units, especially my bow cav. I haven't brought them here, but I like them to be the pink bees of death that'll sting you from a distance, swarm around you, and just fire until you're no longer. Yeah, freaking cool. So now we're going to be closing in, trying to pincer off any parts of the enemy battle line that was exposed. So here we had a little bit of a position that was exposed, and now I close in on it on all sides, firing into some units in the rear. And looks like my allies are going to take this as a cue to assault as well. Let's watch this. Looks like they're going to try and rally at the woods, the forest line here. Ooh, this is glorious. But a lot of, oh my god, that's so much punishing damage here. Triple lines in reinforcement. First one's going to catch them, and the second two lines are going to continue to fire. This may be just enough to hold the cav. And yeah, had this This force here committed a couple more men. He probably could have done a lot more damage, but unfortunately it looks like he does have a couple units positioned in the back. Not quite sure what's up with that. Maybe he was expecting, I don't know, to land an assault, or maybe he forgot them. We are playing with kind of mixed people. A game this old does have some newer players on it. But nonetheless, speaking of new players, their bodies will be excellent for units to be run down. Now the main assault is underway up to the center. You're going to see me sending in my lone Ashigaru. Also my Naginata warrior monks. Going to be coming in here, hitting these Ashigaru on the side. Over here, these guys are just dancing out of the way, waiting till these guys get tied down. And then I'm going to pop War Cry on all these forces, and that's going to effectively shatter them. Across the board, this is going to be a pretty easy mop-up operation. And now we're going to be pulling off the hill as well with my ally here. He has a lot of these kind of cheap samurai. Slowly moving up in loose formation. And now we're going to activate the pink and the yellow units swarming up. Going to be pretty heavy hitting forces. I also have, I believe these are my heavy gunners. These guys are awesome. I like to use them in sieges because they just literally blow away. They have little cannons with them. They blow away enemy units, do so much damage into clustered forces. So I'm looking to get a little bit of an engagement here. Problem with them is they are a bit small in unit size and relatively vulnerable, so you gotta be careful. But we'll see this. Just monster shots there, sending them rolling. That wasn't the best volley. I've seen some that literally like boom shoot guys across the courtyard of a castle when they're defending. So yeah, this, like I said, this battle is more of a cinematic one. We haven't been seeing too many tactics, just a big cavalry charge and the slow eating up of the center. I do hope to get you more of these like competitive matches in the future, although for the most part I do find that's kind of restricted to the latest Total War titles where I can actually find good opponents. In these other matches it's a little bit hard to wait around and get good fights, but I will continue to try and get that for you. Meanwhile, kind of updates what's been going on with this channel. Well, I am playing some other games. Do hope to bring you some Northgard on the side. I've been playing a lot of Total War Arena. We'll try and put up more gameplay of that. I've finally started to unlock some of the higher tier units. Trying to get towards the elephants. I've gotten into a couple battles where the enemy are able to field those. And so yeah, I think that'll be cool to share. Meanwhile, over on the main channel, Invicta, I am working on a couple documentaries. One of them is going to be on the Great Heathen Army, anticipating Thrones of Britannia coming out. I'm putting together a documentary series that's going to cover that historical period, the arrival of the Vikings in England. We're going to talk, compare and contrast the weapons, armor equipment, and kind of army organization of the Vikings versus the Anglo-Saxons. And then we'll cover in parts 2, 3, and maybe even 4, depends how long it goes, we'll cover the actual blow-by-blow invasions of the Great Heathen Army and all that, the eventual, dismantling of the various Anglo-Saxon kingdoms, and finally Alfred the Great's stand. We'll be covering battles of Ashdown, I believe Battle of Edington, etc. It's going to be pretty exciting, I think. And yeah, now we're at a little bit of a stalemate here after we've cleaned up 2 full armies. We're now going to be cresting the hill, collecting the arrows from the ground, and letting our heroes get their cinematic poses off here, staring at the enemy, see if they can just break them with a stare. Speaking of kind of like Japanese period and heroes, I would love to do more moments episodes on Japanese history. We did one, which was the the Mongol invasion of Japan. I'd like to do more. Tons of interesting Japanese history that I'd love to cover, especially from the Warring States period. That thing lends itself to just captivating history. So yeah, I'd like to revisit it. So if you guys have any suggestions in the comments below for documentary ideas, I am all ears. Always looking forward to covering more history. Just slow and steady about it, just because I still do have my main job on the side. Oh, looks like the battle is underway. We've sent forward a fodder unit. Oh, heavy gunners actually, so they got pretty decent armor on them, and now I'll be able to show you these guys. So take a look as they move up. Boom, puffs of smoke exploding those guys, and then continued archer fire is going to melt these red bears with the black dreads. Pretty freaking brutal. I don't know how you're supposed to hold up to this at this point. But we will make their defense short-lived. So I'm going to send up a ton of forces, one of them Nodachi fodder. There we go, that's what I'm talking about. Literal volcanoes of blood erupting from their heads as the heavy gunners get in. And now we're going to toss in the rest of the forces coming in hot. One of these guys did penetrate pretty far. It's no flinching, bulletproof samurai. They do seem to withstand bullets a little bit better, although after mass fire like this, hard to expect them to survive too well. And yeah, there you go, they break. But that bought me enough time to close the distance, and that is going to trigger a main assault from the samurai all along the lines. Let's just get some cinematic angles watching this assault. Actually, from the enemy's perspective, that'll be more interesting as you're quickly trying to reload your rifle. And when you realize that volley isn't going to be enough, not quite sure what you do, try and focus on your reloading skill. But here it looks like they're not even going to get that. And there we go, charge right into the line. Let's watch this up and down the sides. Looks like Bo's hammering on these guys here. My katana hero is wading through. And yeah, the rest of this force has been absolutely obliterated. We're returning guard cav and general as well. Let's take a look at these beautiful pink warriors here. That's some awesome dye. Heavy gunners have pulled themselves up here. Oh, and they're going to unload on this general. Actually, I think I told them to hold fire because this is my own generals in here. Bowman didn't get the message and they're continuing to fire, but luckily most of those did miss the general. Speaking of arrows coming after a general, if you've ever noticed these little balloons on the back of the general's units, I always wonder what those were. They're not actually balloons. From what I had heard, I believe these are little pieces of cloth that as you move, they kind of billow in the wind. And in doing so, they kind of, when an arrow comes at you, they can increase or decrease your likelihood of getting punishing damage. It billowing in the wind opens up the gap and it kind of reduces the impulse of that arrow coming in, makes it do less damage. So kind of an interesting little innovation. But I guess just the way they're animated here, I really believe that these were some kind of like balloons. But no, these are supposed to be kind of like billowing in the wind. So that's a little interesting tidbit. And then here's the enemy reserve. The 3 lines of troops that were held in extreme reserve, not really protecting anything besides this perhaps little river. Looks like they were given their orders to defend the river at all costs and never really figured that they'd have to push past it. Ooh, also another interesting thing that I'd love to cover in some sort of historical video is, you notice as we're swapping between all the different Total War titles, I mean, you'll see recurring things, swords, spears, bows, etc. You know, different types of units, but one of the things notably that seem to be missing from the Japanese warfare is, hey, you know, where are the shields at? And I would love to do a documentary series that kind of traces the development of weapons, armor, and martial culture in Japan, and try and explain why you don't really see that many shields in this particular time period in Japan. And yeah, that would be an interesting topic as well. So yeah, with that being said, we've just kind of opened the doors to a lot of potential future possibilities. But yeah, so leave your comments below for what you think future documentaries I could cover in the Japanese time period, what topics you'd be interested in. Then as always, recommendations for different Total War titles you'd like me to hop into and cover. Been getting some requests from you guys to do some historical titles, which is why I'm hopping into Shogun 2 here. But again, having a little bit of a hard time getting these competitive matches for the older titles. But I hope you can bear with me for the time being. So with that being said, let's go ahead and take a look at the stat line. That's one of the things I also appreciate from Shogun 2. They did multiplayer right, and the final recap of your units is pretty in-depth. It always bugs me that some of the later Total War titles don't ever really show the kill counts per units or the breakdown like that. Really frustrating. So we can take a look at this. Let's see who got the most killed. So yeah, my horse guards, these expensive fire cavalry, getting tons of XP here, 332 kills. And it looks like my bow warrior monks were firing the entire time, and these units put a lot of men to bed. Same thing with these mounted gunners. Overall, pretty good stuff here. Looks like my ally here with the big cav rampage did a lot, 134, 84, and just spamming the katana cav was really excellent against a modern force, just blitzing out of them. That seemed to work super well. And yeah, meanwhile, Blaze Dude and the other forces doing alright. Doing alright. But yeah, that's it for this battle. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Peace out.